Hi, friends. George Rodriguez, El Conservador, talking to you from San Antonio on this Saturday, January 24th, 2026. Unfortunately, there has been another shooting in Minneapolis of a protester who was interfering with immigration law enforcement. This is a tragedy, my friends, and this is what we know so far. First of all, the man had a gun with ammunition, and he was interfering, protesting as they call it, with immigration law enforcement. He was arrested, he violently resisted, and he was shot when law enforcement agents realized that he was armed while he was fighting them. Of course, immediately, Mayor Fry of Minneapolis and Governor Walz of Minnesota demanded again that ICE and the Border Patrol leave their state and the city. They blame, of course, immigration law enforcement for the street protests. They excuse illegal immigration, however. They want illegal aliens to stay, but they want ICE and the Border Patrol to leave. It's just the same situation as when the George Floyd riots happened in 2020 in Minneapolis, that the police were the bad guys. They justify these protests and the interference with law enforcement, and of course, they blame Trump. However, my friends, let's be logical and honest with the situation. First of all, ICE and the Border Patrol are arresting criminal, illegal aliens, but they are also arresting any illegal alien they encounter, where they find them, when they find them. Why? Because they are illegal aliens. And what part of the word illegal don't they understand? While Minneapolis and other liberal cities have forced their local police departments and their police to de escalate, federal law enforcement is under no such mandate. On the contrary, Mayor Fry and Governor Walz are not only excusing but encouraging resistance against immigration law enforcement, which many radicals have interpreted as violence. All law enforcement officers, my friends, have got to be tougher than their opposition. This means that ICE and Border Patrol agents must be tougher than the illegal aliens that they arrest and the protesters who try to stop them. However, apparently, liberals and leftists are not used to law enforcement reacting to their illegal behavior. They're like spoiled children who are not used to being spanked or punished. All law enforcement agents, my friends, must be stronger than the lawbreakers. If there is no fear of consequence, then lawlessness grows. If you do not punish bad behavior, you get more and worse behavior. Sadly, law enforcement has not been allowed to arrest, and the justice system has not punished the bad behavior of most of these protesters for years. That's given rise to more and worse crime and violence, my friends. The violence that's occurring in Minneapolis and in many other communities is not the fault of law enforcement. It is the fault of liberal politicians who excuse crimes because of income and race. It is the fault and result of a liberal administration that opened the border to unvetted, uncontrolled, and illegal immigration. It is the fault of state and local nonprofits, in Minnesota in this case, that settled illegal aliens in their community. And finally, it is the fault of uninformed liberals and radical leftists who want to create an anti-Trump, anti-America chaos. The public would be safer, my friends, if political leaders in Minnesota and other sanctuary states and cities supported and cooperated with federal immigration law enforcement. It would be better if they did not excuse illegal immigration and view illegal aliens as victims while viewing law enforcement as bullies, racists, and Nazis. It would be better if liberals and leftists let immigration agents do their job without interfering. My friends, as an American of Mexican descent, I support immigration law enforcement because America is my country and we must control the borders, because it's a matter of national security. I also support state and local cooperation with federal immigration agents because we must protect our communities and our citizens from illegal alien criminals and foreign terrorists. I stand and support ICE and the Border Patrol, my friends. I also support local law enforcement. George Rodriguez, El Conservador, talking to you from San Antonio. You can follow me on Facebook. You can follow me on my YouTube channel, George Rodriguez, El Conservador. Thank you.